anxiety disorders is very real, but I think a lot of times, I feel like a lot of times we're too pride. We have too much pride to go ahead and take care of serious issues, especially when it comes to, depression, anxiety, things like that, things of those natures, because we just feel like we don't want to be labeled. But I would urge anyone that's dealing with any type of anxiety disorder, and I don't even want to call it a disorder. It's just a part of life.
Right.
People handle life differently, and it doesn't make you any less of a person. It doesn't make you weak. It's just, you have to first and foremost know who you are and try to do the best for yourself possible. And if that means that you have to go out and seek professional help for it, I think that's something that we have to push in the Black community, especially because we just feel like, we're survivors. We can get over it. I don't want to be labeled and, all these negative notions. But really and truly, these type of things can save lives, and life is no joke. Like, it gets crazy sometimes. And if you don't have a positive goal or the proper, I guess, diagnosis for whatever it is that you're dealing with, you may not understand why you're feeling some type of way, but there's an easy cure for it. It could be something as simple as changing your diet or exercising. But either way, don't sit on these things. Don't sit on knowing that there's something wrong and you just have too much pride to go ahead and have a professional tell you what it is. So, yeah, that I would definitely say. Also, I do believe that we should always strive for greatness. I know that everyone has their own perception of what they deem to be successful for themselves or what their goals are for themselves, and that's okay. But my thing is like every day, like we're all humans and we all make mistakes. But every day you should strive to be a better version of yourself the next day. So if you know that there's something that's, there's always something that you can work on. So it's like you have to do like an introspective thing and really dig deep inside yourself and realize, okay, this is something about me that I need to organically work on. So let me go ahead and put that to the forefront of my mind and make myself stronger in that aspect, But, yeah, that's how I feel about that.
Word.
So
and I
I
just want to ask y'all to.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just going to say.
On the table.
Oh, go ahead. All right, go ahead. Put it on the table.
Well, what part do you think culturally displays in people who kind of who feel that ill once they get to a certain age? Because from my own observation, it feels like us in our community, we seem a little bit more harsher on progression in the ages, if everybody understand what I'm saying. It seems like it's more harder on us. It's like being older is a detriment somewhat. And we don't come from that kind of ancient background. We come from a background where we used to honor our elders. We used to praise and honor our elders. And every single thing coming from our elders' mouths was something we held to as a weighty word. We held on to those words very dearly, and we honored our elders. And now it's flip side, where it's like if you become older, your words carry less power to a lot of us as a people. Whereas now if you're young and you kind of speak in a certain way, people kind of respect, people kind of get impressed by it easily. But if you get older, then everybody like, why should I listen to you? You ain't got nothing. You ain't doing nothing. How much y'all think that play a part?
I think I have the perfect answer to that, and no lie, because as Sue said, I didn't want to, write down so many notes, so I'm just like reading or anything. I did want this conversation to be as organic as possible. But the one thing that I wrote down, because everyone who knows me personally knows I have a worst memory, and it has nothing to do with a midlife crisis or age. I just always had a really bad memory.
Oh yeah, I could definitely vouch for that.
Right. But Mikael, you touched on something so serious, and I'm so glad that you even mentioned it, because I think the issue is that, or the reason why we look at our elders in a degrading way or a demeaning way is because when you're younger, what's most important to you is popularity, right? An older person may not be popular, so they're not looking at them like, oh, he's cool, he's hip, or whatever, So they don't find that level of connection with them. You always looking for the popular thing to do. And then there's this stage that we get to where you just want everyone to fear you, or people may fear you. But I think it's different because the level, it's respect. Like, respect is one thing that we don't typically put much of an emphasis on. So growing up is like being popular and being feared. Like, that's cool. Like, if you're the who's who, that's cool. If people are scared of you, that's cool. But all those things, they eventually they will tear away, But if you don't have a level or a core of respect, then it doesn't matter who you are. Once you get to a certain age, it's like you're what's that word? Oh my goodness, they used to say this on this reality TV show all the time, and I completely forgot. But it's like you're inconsequential. Like, no one cares. Like, you don't matter. You know what I mean? So I think it's just establishing a level of respect from an early age so that you grow up thinking that way and not looking at popularity as the end-all be-all or being feared as the end-all be-all. But if you have respect lasts a lifetime. Popularity can go, fear can go, but respect will always last a lifetime.
Word.
Okay.
Word. I would just say I just agree with what both of y'all just said. Like, you can even see in hip hop. People say this all the time. Like, in other genres of music, like they can still sell out arenas and stuff. Like, it seemed like in hip hop, it's very few that can do that once they get older. Jay-Z might be the exception to the rule in this. Because he still got a level of popularity, even though he almost 50. But even that is starting to fade when it comes to strictly to his music anyway. So you could even see in hip-hop, battle rap, that's a lot of jokes. You this old and you still battle rap it. What's wrong with you? Or, in the 90s, you used to say, like, oh, I don't want to be 40 still rapping, So even just that genre of music, you see that. And this is something that I'd be interested in research. I'm just throwing a theory out there. It may be because they advertise to us a lot of different trendy things, and maybe because that's what we see, and especially a lot of these products is directed at us. Maybe that's one of the reasons. I don't know. That's just a theory. That'd be something interesting to research, though. But I don't really know. I don't really have a concrete answer to that because I really don't know. But I do notice that to a certain extent too, that it is a little bit harder on us when we get older. What do you think the reason is, Mikael? I know you posed the question. Do you have a theory on that?
Well, I mean, I think that it plays a adverse effect of the breakdown of our traditions. You know what I mean? Where we come from, certain African traditions where elders were held with such high regard. You know what I mean? Your elder was the one who held your history. You know what I mean? You didn't have history books. You had your elder. You didn't have Google where you could look up the information. You had your elder.
Right.
And so they told you where you were going and told you where you were coming from. Whereas now, information highway, microwave, popcorn information, now a lot of youngsters may feel like they don't need their elder. And now with technology, it gives the youngster who understands that technology a certain age and information. So then how can they go to the elder and say, well, can you tell me about X, Y, and Z, when I can kind of Google that myself and find out whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent. It could be wrong information, but regardless, they feel like they have access to that information. And so it plays a role in how we respect those who are older than us. And then now you dread getting to that area of age, that age group where your youngsters won't listen to you no more. Your youngsters won't pay attention to you no more. That part where it seems like nobody's listening to you and you just the old grumpy person trying to tell everybody what to do.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I would even blame that on the school, our current school system, because we already know that, mainstream education, they typically teach things that are not 100% accurate. Mm-hmm. So when you have an elder telling you otherwise, it's kind of like they have no credibility with you. So why should you believe them? That's right. How I feel like they go about it. But yeah.
Word. And I was going to say something similar too, because some of I'm going to keep it 100. Some of the elders in our community don't be about shit either. If we want to keep it 100.
Real thought.
Like there are.
Yeah.
There are some that are, and we should listen to them. But like, because I know I was like this when I was younger. If you come to me as an elder, and you're an alcoholic, like you always high, why would I listen to you? You ain't really talking about nothing. You don't know nothing. You never took an interest in anything significant. And we have a lot of elders in our community that's like that, and they demand respect. But I'm like, look at you as an example. Is really no reason to really respect you besides the fact that you older, and like a lot of these kids see that. And one of the other things too, I think, is a breakdown of it. And I was just thinking about this when you was talking, Mikael. It go back to the whole Willie Lynch theory. And again, I always say this. Some people come. Yes. They always say that, okay, the letter might have been real. And I always say this. It doesn't matter whether the letter was real or not. What was in the letter was real. And like the breakdown between older and younger generation, like you got a lot of older people blaming the younger generation. And I'm like, okay, where did they learn this behavior from? Where was y'all to guide them in the right direction? You can't just point the finger at the younger generation if you wasn't there to guide them right. And that's some of the breakdown too. Like, it's a number of reasons why we don't have the guidance like that. Some of it is, the prison industrial complex. A lot of our brothers and more sisters too, because this is underreported too. A lot of black women starting to get pressed on charges as well now, but specifically with the black men. We getting charged. We going to prison. The whole crack era was something that was detrimental to our community as a whole, and left a lot of voids in these young people's hearts, and left a lack of direction. Because, and also if you don't have somebody to really teach you, how would you know? So that's that's just one of the things right there.